that starting with a question about Srebrenica today is really the best way to get a rational answer for me, because it's overwhelming. It's psychological overwhelming because of what Srebrenica is, and what I mean, it was a shock for me many kilometers away. I was 18-year-old, and I do vividly remember that we knew what was happening. It's not, we didn't know. We knew about the concentration camps. Sorry. Say something. No, because it's easy to put the mask on. I'm used to have the mask on. When I speak about Palestine, it's difficult. It's the same. So we knew about the concentration camps. We knew about the rounding up of men. We knew about the rape against women. And this is why for me it was very offensive to be there and to hear on the way back probably the fact that I also come from a very difficult period. 3 years and very little sleep. But hearing someone from Europe who didn't have the time to come, but had the time to deliver a message by video, saying, we have always been with you. We were with you 30 years ago, and we will always be with you, because we will never allow issues, security issues, to hit Bosnia again. How much lies can the world handle in the face of a genocide? Because, you know, again, this is why I don't know if I will be able to explain rationally all the monstrosity that this statement delivered in the face of the mothers of Srebrenica and all the other thousands of people who gathered today to pay tribute to the terror. By the way, in a context that speaks of no healing at all, and I'm really worried, because surely it's my ignorance. I've not been asking people how have their wounds healed, but it was very strange for me to see pictures after pictures after pictures. I don't know who's been to Srebrenica today, but there were pictures of Serbian people who had been killed. And all my respects, don't get me wrong, every life matters and every death is a tragedy. But it does remind me of what the Palestinians have been confronted for the past 630 days, when the deaths of the Palestinians have gone from 100 to 1,000 to 5,000, to 8,000, to 12,000, to 30,000, and then the massacres and the information about the torture and the rape. We have seen videos of people raped, gang raped, and by human beings and dogs, and it's really disgusting. And still the Palestinians keep on being confronted with the face of the hostages. And not that the hostages do not matter, but what does it mean? What's the link? What's the reason to put the images of others when on the day of the commemoration of one of the most atrocious massacres of the post-World War II on European soil, and also that one not the only one, and plus there were posters saying 33 years of Muslim crimes. Again, no judgment, I'm just saying I do see that the wounds have not healed at all. And in the face of all this message landed very poorly for two reasons. First of all, and I mean, I'm known for my honesty, but first of all, instructions were not to talk about Gaza. You see, and we are still there. Second, it's the, no, NATO was not there. Was not there while the Bosnian women were being raped. But NATO was not there when people were killed or thrown in mass graves, and they are still collecting. I mean, the mothers and the fathers are still collecting the bones. And now, they were the UN, and the UN slammed the door in the face of those seeking for help. So this is the international community to the people of Bosnia. I would have at least the decency to zip my mouth instead of coming and telling lies, all the more in the face of another genocide that is happening once again under our eyes, on our phones. Not, I don't know if it's different, because again, as I said, I remember I was 18, so, and I know, so what is coming back now to, after this flow of consciousness, what is coming to Srebrenica or coming to Sarajevo today? It means that we are still there with a lot of challenges, but also a lot of opportunities. We need to awaken right now, because this is really, it's getting much, much worse than when it was 30 years ago. What the Palestinians in Gaza are facing in essence is not different from what people in this country have faced. And at the same time, there is a level of perversion, because as I said in my last report, which has caused me some trouble, and I would resubmit it tomorrow, just to be clear. And it's not that I didn't know what we were doing. I say we because I'm implicating a number of persons as with that report. But well, there are people profiting from it, and this is the reality. That today, out of the genocide in Gaza, there are people who are getting richer and richer. The Tel Aviv Stock Exchange has increased its value of 170% plus, and they have amassed, while people in Gaza, but also while the rest of the West Bank was being ethnically cleansed, $220 billion, and 70 billion of which only in the last month. Now we need to understand the link. We need to be able to link the dots. That those of us who do not control weapons, who do not control algorithms, and do not control communication are screwed. If what Israel has done to the Palestinians, and which has already tested on the people in Lebanon, Iran, and others in the region, becomes the script, becomes the way to deal with dissent. And it's already happening, because look at how Europe and the rest of the quasi-liberal democracies that we are left with has dealt with dissent. So we need to unite all struggles, we need to see the links between all injustices, stand together, because only together we are going to get out of this in a safer way that what we risk to if we don't stay united, and if we keep on taking care of our own self instead of thinking in terms of humanity, which for me is the only response to the humanization.